Let's go to formula number 3, which is the B and C pedal inversion of the minor. And this is the one that's a lot of fun, and you'll hear a lot of familiar sounds out of this. The B and C pedal inversion is the one you hear a lot of the old Ralph Mooney sounds and a lot of the Lloyd Green sounds. And if you've been looking for those sounds to copy sometimes, you'll be relieved with a lot of what you hear right here. This one is not all that hard to remember. In fact, it's only 2 frets away from a major chord position. And as we said, it's the 3rd formula, and it's what we call the down 2. Let's go right to the board, and I'll give you an idea what I'm talking about. Let's take E again, just like we've been doing. And this one is kind of written backwards because we're going to move backwards. Let's remember that E is on 12, and I could have used open, except it's hard to move down to the left of open. So let's use 12, the octave. So E's on 12, the no pedal position for the E, and we're going to move to the left or down 2 frets and use the B and C pedals, and this gives us E minor. Now this is the down 2 formula, and it's formula number 3. And remember, it comes from a no pedal position, not from a pedal down or something like that. This is to the left of any no pedal major. You will find the minor chord using the B and C pedals. Now the B and C pedals are the ones that still look like brand new on your guitar, I'm sure, because most people are scared to death of the B and C pedals. And yes, it's true, you've got to move your feet. Let's go over here on the board to the next position, though, and let's look at it another way. Let's suppose that you want to find a C minor chord sometime, and a good way to find it is to think C on 8, again, the no pedal position, move to the left 2 frets to 6 with the B and C pedals, and that's where you get the C minor again. Now, this has some peculiarities about it we need to talk about too. So let's go on down the board just for a second. Let's go back to E minor. We said E minor was 10 with the B and C pedals because it's to the left of the E on 12. Well, that's fine. We can use strings 3, 4, and 5. We can use strings 4, 5, and 6. But the B and C pedals don't pull any of the lower strings like the other pedals do. So really, we only have 2 real good inversions, and we have a 3rd one that uses the 7th string right there on 10. You don't hear that much. I wrote it because it's true, but it's not all that useful. So what we're stuck with is these 2. But that doesn't mean that we're selling it short any. That just means that these 2 are very useful. Now, what you're going to find is that with the B and C pedals, it feels uncomfortable to move your feet, doesn't it? You're probably, in most of your playing, you're playing on the A and B pedals. So that means that when you think the B and C pedal inversion, somewhere in it, you've got to move your feet. A lot of people don't like doing that because they have to look down to see where B and C pedals is, and that's something you can get out of by just practicing. The important thing to remember about this is that this is a nice minor first. It gives you a lot of real nice licks, so don't sell this one short yet. And you can be slow about getting to the B and C pedals. You don't have to jump real fast. I remember in my early days of playing, I used to think that it was entirely wrong if I ever heard the no pedal position and then me squeezing the B pedals in. Well, that was half of the good licks that I ever learned, was learning to squeeze the B and C pedals in. So keep it in mind that when you go to the B and C pedal position, don't be in a hurry. Take your time. Be sloppy about it. That's half of making it sound good. That's what pedal steel guitar is all about. In fact, you'll see this probably in terrific color here. If we go to page number 4 in your book, and we'll still use track number 1, but this is exercise number 4, and this uses the B and C pedal position, and we'll be in the key of G, and we'll find out where the relative minor is in the key of G. We're going to use the 10th fret, and we're going to find that 10 with the B and C pedal, just like we have right here, gives you the 6th minor or the relative minor. Well, that's going to be a little uncomfortable because you're going to be on 10 with both pedals, the A and B down, and then all of a sudden you've got to get off of 10A and B and go to 10B and C, and somewhere in that there's going to be no pedals down, aren't there? You're going to have to be with 10 with no pedals. That in itself is a good sound, so be sloppy about it. Don't be in a hurry. Let's go right to the book and to the guitar, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about, though. Here we go with the exercise number 4 on page 4, and we're still with track 1, but listen to what we get here when we do this thing. You have 10 on the A and B pedals, and again, that's just 8 beats of that. And of course, you can improvise. You can squeeze those pedals in it. Make up something that fits with this. You're probably bored with the track by now, and I would be too. So play around with it. Just use up 8 beats of G. But when it goes to E minor, watch, you've got to move your feet over there, don't you, to get to the B and C? Well, a lot of people would do the jump, and try to just jump over there. That's ridiculous. You're missing all the good licks. So be on A and B, and then let the pedals off, hit the chord, and I actually wrote it as a squeeze, didn't I? 10 with no pedals to 10 B and C. Well, there's a little bit of a lie there. I wrote it as 4 beats of 10, and then 4 beats of 10 B and C. Don't do that. Just squeeze the pedal in and make it 8 beats long. The important thing is take your time. So we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and squeeze it in and out. Boy, you can improvise with that a lot. The sound of that D against the E minor is terrific. It's not at all wrong. Let's let people hear that D chord against that E minor that the band's playing. It'll be quite all right. And then as we progress through the exercise, we come back to a G on 10. Well, take your time, squeeze those pedals in. And then obviously it goes to E minor, squeeze that one in too. Oh, you can have a ball with that. You paid a lot of money for these pedals. Let's get something. And then it goes to C. Not much we'll want to do with that right now, but we'll go to line 2. Again, we're squeezing that B and C pedal in. And then it'll go to a C again, just a different inversion of C, 3, 4, and 5. And then we go to a quick E minor on the end, just 4 beats there, so we'll go. And then it'll go to a D, come off of the B and C pedals, and let us hear the D. So we're going to cheat, so to speak, a lot with the B and C pedals. So the whole thing is going to be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now E minor, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, C, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 2, C. Quick E minor, D, and back to the top, because this is where we repeat, and we'll go through it 3 times. So this is what we have here. We're going to have the rhythm track, number 1, playing along, and we're going to use nothing but the relative minor. Notice that we got G, and the relative minor is the 6 minor,
1,
10, B, and C.
2, 1, 2, 3,
And
4.
go. E minor. Back to G. Take your time. Take your time. E minor. Long squeeze. C. E minor. C. Quick E minor, 4 beat. D. From the top. C. Second line. E minor. D. Repeat from the top. C. Second line. Coming to the end, quick E minor, D, end with G. Boy, that's fun because you can just stomp those pedals and have a ball. It seems like there's no wrong note in there. Either the pedal's up or they're down, and as long as you keep moving, it's always the right note for some reason. So this B and C pedal minor is a neat little trick to know, isn't it? Remember, it's always just 2 frets to the left of any no pedal position. So any minor you need, if somebody says A minor, think A on 5 and drop back to the left, like 3 with the B and C pedals, and just stomp those pedals and have a ball. You'll have a lot of good little licks in there. If somebody wants a D minor, you can think D on 10, drop back to the left, 2 frets to 8, hit the B and C pedals. 8 B and C would be D minor. All right, this is just working with basically one kind of a minor chord, the 6 minor. We're going to come back here in a minute. We're going to put all these things together. We're going to use the A pedal. and we're going to use the D lever, and we're going to use the B and C pedal all in one song so you can see how they become one idea and not three. And really that's what we want, isn't it? Remember, we're not trying to memorize positions. We're trying to get the formulas so that we can find what we want anytime we want it. All right, take this thing, make sure you have it well in mind. We'll come right back and we'll play them all three together. Your turn.